Panchavi Brahma Chaturvi Dashabhi Tatha Eta Chaturvimshatikam Ganam Pradhanikam Viduhu Panchavi Brahma Chaturvi Dashabhi Tatha Eta Chaturvimshatikam Ganam Pradhanikam Viduhu Panchavi Brahma Chaturvi Dashabhi Tatha Eta Chaturvimshatikam Ganam Pradhanikam Viduhu
Panchavi Brahma Chaturvimshatikam Eta Chaturvimshatikam Ganam Pradhanikam
Panchavi Brahma Chaturvi Dashabhistata Eta Chaturvimshatikam Ganam Pradhanikam Viduhu
Panchavi Brahma Chaturvi Dashabhistata Eta Chaturvimshatikam Ganam Pradhanikam Viduhu
Panchavi Brahma Chaturvi Dashabhistata Eta Chaturvimshatikam Ganam Pradhanikam Viduhu Panchavi Brahma Chaturvi Dashabhistata Eta Chaturvimshatikam Ganam Pradhanikam Viduhu
Panchavihi with the 5 gross elements. Panchavihi, the 5 subtle elements. Brahma. Chaturvihi, the 4 internal senses. Dashabhihi, the 5 senses of gathering knowledge, 5 organs for action. Tatha, in that way. Eta, this. Chaturvimshatikam, consisting of 24 elements. Ganam, aggregate. Pradhanikam, comprising the pradhana. Viduhu, they know. The aggregate element, namely the 5 gross element, 5 subtle element, the 4 internal senses, the 5 senses for gathering knowledge, the 5 organs of action are known as pradhana. The aggregate elements, namely the 5 gross elements, the 5 subtle elements, the 4 internal senses, the 5 senses of gathering knowledge, and 5 outer organs of action are called pradhana. Hare Krishna, Supriya Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Purport by Sri K. Sesi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. According to Bhagavad Gita, the sum total of the 24 elements described herein is called the Yonir Mahat Brahma. The sum total of the living entities is impregnated into this Yonir Mahat Brahma. And they are born in different forms, beginning from Brahma down to the insignificant ant. In the Srimad Bhagavatam and other Vedic literatures, the sum total of the 24 elements, pradhana, is also described as Yonir Mahat Brahma. It is the source of the birth and subsistence of all living entities. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. think we can do a few more. There are 5 gross elements, namely earth, water, fire, air, and ether, and there are 5 subtle elements: smell, taste, color, touch, and sound. The senses acquiring knowledge and organs of actions are numbered 10, namely the auditory sense, the sense of taste, the tactile sense, the sense of sight, the sense of smell, and active organs are active organs for speaking, working, traveling, generating, and evacuating. Internal citizen experience has 4 aspects in the shape of mind, intelligence, ego, and contaminated consciousness. Distinction between them can be made only by different functions since they represent different characteristics. Yes, Supreme Mataji.
Yes, Purport. The 4 internal senses or subtle senses described herein are defined by different characteristics. When pure consciousness is polluted by material contamination and when identification with the body becomes prominent, one is said to be situated under false ego. Consciousness is a function of the soul, and therefore behind consciousness there is soul. Consciousness polluted by material contamination is called ahankara. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
All these are considered the qualified Brahman, the mixing element which is known as time, is counted as the 25th element. Yes, Mataji.
Purport. According to the Vedic version, there is no existence beyond Brahman. Sarvam Kala Idam Brahma. Chandogya Upanishad 3.14.1. It is also stated in the Vishnu Purana that whatever we see is Parasya Brahmanaha Shaktihi. Everything is an expansion of the energy of the Supreme Absolute Truth, Brahman. When Brahman is mixed with the 3 qualities, goodness, passion, and ignorance, there results the material expansion, which is sometimes called Saguna Brahman, and which consists of these 25 elements. In the Nirguna Brahman, when there is no material contamination, or in the spiritual world, the 3 modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, are not present. Where Nirguna Brahman is found, simple unalloyed goodness prevails. Saguna Brahman is described by the Sankhya philosophy as consisting of 25 elements, including the time factor, past, present, and future. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Now there's only this thing. Be ready. The influence of the Supreme Personality Godhead is felt in the time factor, which is called fear of death due to false ego of the deluded soul, which is contacted matter nature. Yes, Mother.
Purport. The living entity's fear of death is due to his false ego of identifying with the body. Everyone is afraid of death. Actually, there is no death for the spirit soul, but due to our absorption in the identification of body as self, the fear of death develops. It is also stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.37, Bhayam Dvitiyabhi Veshataha Syat. Dvitiya refers to the matter which is beyond spirit. Matter is a secondary manifestation of spirit, for matter is produced from spirit. Just as the material elements described are caused by the Supreme Lord or the Supreme Spirit, the body is also a product of the spirit soul. Therefore, the body is called Dvitiya, or the second. One who is absorbed in this second element or second exhibition of the spirit is afraid of death. When one is fully convinced that he is not his body, there is no question of fearing death, since the spirit soul does not die. If the spirit soul engage in the spiritual activities of the devotional service, he is completely freed from the platform of birth and death. His next position is completely spiritual, freedom from a material body. The fear of death is called the action of Kala or time factor, which represents the influence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, time is destructive. Whatever is created is subject to destruction and dissolution, which is the action of time. Time is representation of the God, and it reminds us also that we must surrender unto the Lord. The Lord speaks to every conditioned soul as time. He says in Bhagavad Gita that if someone surrenders unto him, then there is no longer any problem of birth and death. We should therefore accept the time factor as the Supreme Personality of Godhead standing before us. This is further explained in the following verse. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
My dear mother or daughter of Swayambhuva Manu, the time factor, as I have explained, is the Supreme Personality Godhead from whom the creation began, the result of agitation of the neutral, unmanifested nature.
Purport. The unmanifested state of material nature, pradhana, is being explained. The Lord says that when the unmanifested material nature is agitated by the glance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it begins to manifest itself in different ways. Before this manifestation or before this agitation, it remains in the neutral state without interaction
By the three modes of material nature. In other words, material nature cannot produce any variety
of manifestations without the contact of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is very nicely explained in Bhagavad Gita. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the cause of the products of material nature. Without his contact, material nature cannot produce anything. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita also, a very suitable example is given in this connection. Although the nipples on the goat's neck appear to be breast nipples, they do not give milk. Similarly, material nature appears to be the material scientist to act and react in a wonderful manner. But in reality, it cannot act without the agitator, time, who is a representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When time agitates the neutral state of material nature begins to produce varieties of manifestations. Ultimately, it is said that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the cause of creation. As a woman cannot produce children unless impregnated by a man, material nature cannot produce or manifest anything unless it is impregnated by the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of the time factor.
Thank you, Mother.
Hare Krishna.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namah. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gaudavani Pracharini Nirvisheshaya Shundravadi Ashata Deshatari Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Prabhavam Paurusham Prahuhu Kalameke Yato Bhayam Ahankara Mimurasya Prabhu Prakritim Iyushaha. The influence Supreme Personality Godhead is felt in the time factor which causes fear of death due to the false ego of the deluded soul who has contracted material nature. Time. The topic today is time. What is time? Kal. Time actually is a force, not that is the effect. What you see on the watch is the effect of that force. Something is moving. Correct? But time is actually a force. Kal. And it is an impersonal representation of the Lord. It is Krishna only in an impersonal way. And what does it do? It brings everything to destruction. You cannot avoid it. Everything in the material world is fit for destruction. How does it achieve Krishna? He achieves through God. That is his representation. Everything has a particular time. Even in the, you see the most molecular levels, small levels, you see they are shaking. Time is present. Electrons are rotating, whatever. What is happening, you don't know. That is one theory you have. There are so many theories of atomic model. But whatever, there is some shaking happening there. And then you have the planetary system. There are also various models are there. The Vedic model, the sun is moving, not earth. Jammu-Dvipe, Bharatagante, sun and moon are moving. Up there. But anyway, you get the result from either way. But movement is there. Again, time. The time is measured by the movement of some object from one place to another. Okay. But that is an effect. Time is the force. So like that, we see everything is moving. Brahma is born, that's also time. And then he has a life. He's also time starts counting. He has days, one day more gone, one day more gone, one day more gone. Time is flowing. You know that famous example of the Lomala Rishi, what is the name? That he has a benediction of a long life, even more than Brahma. If one hair falls in the body, when one Brahma dies, one hair falls in his body. And then all the hairs fall in his body, then he will die. So once Narada Muni saw him, standing on the banks of the Ganges, chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Said, please, why don't you sit down, make some hut, be comfortable. Why are you standing? Make some place to sit down. Time is not. He was worried that time is not, but time is flying. Actually, time is flying. Even for Brahma, time is flying. Everybody at the time is flying. And time represents the Supreme God. It is a force which one day will totally destroy my body and force me to leave this body. It is a force which brings everything to destruction, including my body also. And we can see this force is active. Ani ani gachanti. What is the sloka? The first one. Ani ani gachanti. Ani ani gachanti. Bhutani Yamalayam. All the time we see all the living entities are going to death. Shesha Sthavara Vichanti. Those who are remaining, Sthavara, they think, if I can remain forever. What is more surprising than this? We see the time factor is destroying everything and we think it will leave us. मेरे को छोड़ दे, मेरे को कुछ नहीं होगा, सब मर गए, मेरे को कुछ नहीं. Time factor is not going to leave you. Time factor will destroy everything. So the best thing is the time factor which represents the Lord should be used in the Lord's service. No sense of time. They tell the people, you have no sense of time. Because sometimes we used to develop beautiful time management systems. But that can only be given to a sattvic person. A rasic, tamasic person whose mind is harassed by the unwanted desires, what time management? If he can stop doing sinful activity, that's all. And because the mind of a rasic, tamasic person is very disturbed, therefore he takes a lot of rest, sleeps a lot. So what pain? At least he gets some, head becomes cool after taking rest. He feels little cold. So we see the time factor is actually very, very, is the will of the Lord, and it forces everything into destruction. What is that? And time is also related. In a sense, we know that famous instance, one king wanted to know whom to marry his daughter. He said, why not have the best person in the universe? That is Brahma. He took his daughter, very beautiful daughter. And then Brahma was busy. Some Bharatnatyam was going on. Thai, and Brahma was enjoying. So nice. In fact, all the devatas, Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Surya. They don't do anything disconnected from the Lord. So glorification of the Lord in terms of some dance drama. Brahma was busy, Yakshagana, something. So and that Brahma after that came, oh, you have been waiting, tell me. So can you tell me who will be the best suitable match for my daughter? So Brahma said, what options do you have? Or this king, that king, on that kingdom, that king. Brahma said, 100 generations are over in that dynasty. Idiot. Time is relative. In my place, my Brahma's 1 second is equal to 1 lakh years of hours. Just imagine. And if you are waiting for 15 minutes, not few generations, thousands of generations are over. One yuga is changed practically. So, Brahma said, okay, now Balramji has come. Marry your daughter. Came and married his daughter. Correct? You know the story. So, time is relative also. Interesting. And the spiritual world has no time. This time doesn't exist there, this kala. Because in the material world, the time is called infinite. Because it never stops moving. Oh, yeah, we thug it. It's like that. Itne din ho gaya, ab aur nahi, bas bahut ho gaya. Nahi. It's keep moving. So therefore, it's also have the sense of eternity in it. It keeps moving. Atma is eternal, Jiva is eternal, the Krishna is eternal, Prakriti is eternal, natural energy is conserved. And Kala is also eternal. Only thing which is not eternal is the karma, which can be changed. He said, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Karma can be changed. So Jiva, Ishvara, Kala, Karma, Prakriti, there are 5 things. What are them? There are 5 things that discussed in Bhagavad Gita. What are the karma is mentioned? But now coming to time. The time is eternal. Keeps moving. It doesn't stop. It can bring you to destruction. Yeah, नहीं अब तो हो गया time, थक गया, अब तो time आगे नहीं जाएगा. It's not that. It keep moving. But in the spiritual world, there is no time like this. Because in this world, the time causes that, like you look at yourself, your time has passed. We say sometimes, time is moving so fast. Samay itna tez chal raha hai. Because you look at ourselves, we just think it was yesterday, I was in college, and my God, 30 years are over. But I don't feel the sense. Time is moving. And it happens. We can see so many things. You saw somebody's child small, and now he's grown up, he's in college. Time goes so fast. We say that, no? Time is moving so fast. Did you have an experience? We saw somebody in the small time that when he came to Mangalore, that Hare Krishna was only this much. And now he's in college. Things move very fast. But in the spiritual world, this kind of time doesn't exist. Because nothing is destroyed. Nobody becomes old. Just like say, if you meet somebody, wait, time pass ho gaya, because hairs become white, become old. So, there has to be, see, how can you measure time when there is no change? How do you measure time when there is no change? In spiritual world, nothing changes. So beautiful. What doesn't change? Nothing changes. You are young, you will continue to remain young. So don't get attracted. Nowadays, the scientists are very excited. We'll go to Mars, big excitement. Today, so somewhere I was reading, America is very worried, China will make a colony on moon. So people go to Mars, go to moon, big excitement. And then one journey, they spend $50 billion, $100 billion. That's like, the budget of many countries is spent on just one excursion. One of the famous instance, the Srila Prabhupada was asked, what do you say for this moon landing? Prabhupada, should I flatter you or tell the truth? Just imagine the airport, he was a celebrity that time. You ask, what is the statement and publish it? Prabhupada said, the fact is, it's a waste of time. So Swamiji, we are curious. Prabhupada said, we are curious like a foolish child. Sometimes the child is curious, no, unnecessarily. Curious like a foolish child. So modern humanity doesn't know the time is limited. Labdava sudullabam. It is very, very rarely attained. Bahusambhavante. Turnam yatet anumritya yavat. Before death comes, quickly endeavor. Just like you joined a college. I immediately moment is to join the college, boss starts cut. Exam is approaching. It may be 6 months or 1 year, but it has to come cut. 1 day more near exam, 1 day more near exam, 1 year more near exam. Whatever, you're moving towards exam, isn't it? So similarly, Prabhupada used to laugh. People celebrate birthday. What is there to celebrate birthday? You have 1 more year, you move near exam. Suppose your exam is at 8 o'clock in the evening. Somebody says, 5 o'clock now. Abba, tension increases. 7 o'clock now. Only 1 hour remaining. You get tension increasing. What is there to celebrate? What is there to celebrate in that? You are moving 1 more year near death. Whatever your time duration of the body is, that cannot be extended. The moment you got the body, it's like in engineering, the moment you make a vehicle, we can tell the age of it scientifically. Correct? What is the rough age of this vehicle? It is designed for a particular age. Similarly, the body, each body, when you get a body, it has a time already fixed. This much time, you have to be in this body. You cannot change that. That is already fixed because of your past karma. You cannot, only in very, very exceptional situation of a Mahabhaga, the pure devotee, if he wishes, can change that. Great yogis can change that. But then anyway, what is the use simply of living long? Better a movement of full Krishna consciousness than millions of movement, bored, dry, hackneyed. Better a few moments of full Krishna consciousness. Just imagine, you're chanting the holy name, drinking the nectar. Better few moments like that. You're reading Prabhupada's books, you're reading Bhagavad Gita, finding so much enjoyment. Better few moments like that. And those moments will actually give you eternal spiritual life. Both by rising, it takes 1 day away from your life, but not for a person who is daily hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. For him, the kala doesn't move. The time stops moving for him. So that's a very interesting feature. So kala doesn't touch, the kala could not touch the Supreme Lord. Krishna assumed various forms, and all these forms were eternal. Not that they were just like they say, at different times, in different universes, Krishna's pastimes are going on parallel. It's one pastime gets over and it continues another place. It's like sun is 6 o'clock in India, then it is 6 o'clock in Pakistan after some time, then goes on. Similarly, Lord similarly manifests some place and it continues some other place. So till 16 years, Krishna shows various forms, the kala doesn't occur. What happens? You see Krishna independent of any activity with the kala. Krishna is totally free. Because it maintains itself as a very young boy, 16, like BU college. So in different ways we can appreciate the kala, and the kala is fixed, time is fixed. So whatever little time we have remaining, we do not know how much time we have. Let us use it for service to Krishna. We have little time, not unlimited, but use it to serve Krishna. Maybe you have 1,000 days, 5,000 days, you have something with you. Use it for service to Krishna, do not waste. Because one moment wasted, insense gratification, we do not know how many births it will take us. It doesn't take much time to degrade ourselves. Rather, poison is rather acting faster than nectar. Or we say, it is easy to go down the stairs than climb the stairs. It is always easy to go down. So similarly, it is very easy to degrade ourselves and very difficult, a lot of intense tapasya to uplift ourselves. This is a reality. So therefore, we should be alert that whatever time we have is used in Krishna's service. And here, Kardama Muni, the son Kapila Muni is speaking, devotee is hearing, and Kapila is explaining Bhagavad Sankhya, Sankhya according to Srimad Bhagavatam. And in the Sankhya that Kapila Muni is explaining, he's talking about 24 elements, talking about 5 gross senses, earth, water, fire, everything, very easy. 5 subtle senses. The 4 is not called first class senses. Pancha Mahabhuta, 5 elements, earth, water, fire, everything. Then 5 objects of the senses, that is eye, for eyes it is sight, for ear it is shabda, nose it is gandha, rasa and sparsha. Then the senses itself, that is eyes, nose, the sense of gathering knowledge, eyes, nose, ears, and the skin. Then 5 working senses, that is mouth, hand, legs, anus and genital. So this becomes strength. Then it says there are 4 subtle elements. Earth, water, fire, we always know mind intelligence possible. It's just contaminated consciousness, which is part of our system. This makes the 24th element. And time as a 5th element. Time is an element. And how does the universe time starts? Everything like an unmanifested state. If a spiritual word, you cannot put the time also. Time doesn't exist, metal time doesn't exist. How does it start? How the metal world started? 1, 2, just like the spaceship launches, 1, 2, 3, boom, and it moves. 10, 9, 8, 7 was seen the spaceship launch, and boom, it starts off. Basically, America sent some instrument, spending billions of dollars. That fellow did not have any living entity, just went and go. Next time they want to put some people, and they go and come back. And the next time they spend hundreds of billions of dollars. So time is moving all the time. Let us not waste time. Avyartha kalatram, the devotee is advanced when it doesn't waste one moment. That's all called advancement of spiritual. Every moment is used alertly. But then the business of Rajoguna, Tamoguna is that they fill our heart with intense desire for sense gratification. And we cannot use time constructively, purposefully in the service of Krishna. And try to, everything takes time. We don't become pure devotee in 1 minute. It takes time. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu talks about bhakti cultivation. Cultivation means it takes time. We're cultivating a good habit, it takes time. Just like cultivating a tree takes time. Some people are telling the garden all around the temple, you put this plant, because I said, why? And it takes time, at least 1 year it becomes this much. Put it down. Everything takes time. True? Everything takes time. So becoming a pure devotee doesn't happen in 1 day. It just takes time. You have to culture. You have to sincerely try. Not that, okay, I just thought about it and I become pure devotee. No. Many people think it's a joke like that. That's called sahajiya. Sahajiya, without applying his time and energy and inactivity, thinks I've become a pure devotee. No, sir. You have to cultivate, you have to make determination. I want to become pure devotee. Then, Shruti, Sruti, Prapan, Adi, Pancharati, Vidambana, Ekanti, Harabhattvati, Kalpate. So without the direction of the Shastra, without direction of the Acharyas, when you try to do bhakti, that becomes a disturbance and waste not only your time, other people's time. Most of the people, they use whatever time in spiritual life just for bodily or mental satisfaction. When Vedavyasa was sad after compiling all the Vedic literature, he felt, I have wasted my time, I am not happy. Something is wrong. What is wrong? What did I do wrong? So at that time, Narad Muni comes. He says, are you satisfied by associating, by identifying with the body and mind? Are you satisfied? No. So we should try to identify with the soul as a servant of Krishna. And then use Kevala Anda Kanda. Every moment become nectar. And the time is well spent. And if you are practicing Krishna consciousness, you can say at that time you could have done something else. Don't worry. Krishna gives you all the credit of every activity, provided we are using our time properly. So devotees are very alert. That's the Maya. Devotee doesn't have any way. It's the Maya only. Let the Maya not take away. Because particularly with the full-time devotees, they have an opportunity. What? They don't have to go to office. They have whole day free. Now, it also brings danger. Because somebody may be inside the temple, but can go conscious of less than a street sweeper. At least he's engaged. Correct? Therefore, when you become free, you should become more absorbed in Krishna's service. More absorbed, full of energy in the service of Krishna. Not that you think, oh, I don't have to go to office, let me relax. Sleep 18 hours. But the danger will be our consciousness will become impure. At least in that sense, compared to such a person, a sweeper in the street is better. He has some engagement. So idle mind or idle time is Deva's workshop. If suppose you have half an hour and you have not planned some service to Krishna during that time, in that time you can think about sense gratification, destroy you. Correct? So we should be busy. Like a Jamila was not busy. Let me watch this, what this prostitute is doing for 5 minutes. Nothing will happen to me. But the time which was misused, which was not packed for Krishna's service, Maya needs only little time to destroy our spiritual life. It destroyed his spiritual life. Jamila got lost for a long time. So our whole journey in the material world, trillions and trillions of births, trillions and trillions of years, is just a small moment in the spiritual world. I just thought about something so horrible. That's all. Such a small moment. Time is related. One breath of Mahavishnu, that is also Mahavishnu is eternal. But to breathe external and internal, that is life of our Brahma. Or a Brahma's life, in which just has a 1 second is equal to 1 lakh of our years, that Brahma's life is just one breathing of Mahavishnu. How do you compare them? We can't even compare. Can't even compare and understand the time's relative position. So whatever it is, we have little time. Always understand the time is not unlimited. Please understand. Just like when you have little money, we are always reminded, you have only this much, and be careful. You don't have unlimited money. You have limited. In the material world, everything is limited. And in the spiritual world, everything is unlimited. And the gopis are dancing with Krishna. Say, Krishna, we don't want the night to end. Krishna says, oh, really? Then what did Krishna manifest it? What did Krishna manifest immediately? Krishna manifested the spiritual time. There was no time. They danced for the night of Brahma. And even after that, because they were not dancing in the physical body, therefore you cannot find fault with Rasa Leela. The gopis' physical body is lying at home. They were dancing with Krishna in the spiritual body. And the master of spirit, Krishna, is dancing with the spirit soul. Who are you to object? You bring it to the platform of, that's called Sahajiya. You bring it to the platform of, low-class people dancing with others' wives. Don't bring to the platform. It's Krishna dancing with the spirit soul. Who are you to object? 8-year-old that time. What are you objecting? He's the Supreme Lord. Physical word is manifested 8 years. Dancing with great happiness. Dance of love, not dance of lust, as we have. So the gopis said, Krishna, not enough. In the spiritual world, nobody is bored of Krishna. In the material world, you sit with somebody, after some time you get bored of that person. You go meet somebody else. Eternally, they are with Krishna. Eternally, they are dancing with Krishna, they are relating with Krishna, they are not bored of Krishna. Eternally, they are blissful. So the gopis said, we are not satisfied. We want to dance more with you. So Krishna waited night of Brahma. And then what happened? But they kept dancing with Krishna to the night of Brahma. Can you imagine? For billions of years they danced. How much it comes? 4.13 billion years. 4 point, whatever number. 4 plus change billion years they danced. And after dancing for billions of years, when the morning came, they didn't want to go because they were still not tired. That is spiritual body. Just imagine. Everything is artificial. But the spiritual soul, spirit soul, time is very artificial and it looks something very unusual, this kala. Because we are not used to this kala in the spiritual world. Somebody dies, why he has died? You're surprised. You're surprised. You should be. It's okay, everybody dies. Somebody become old, you become old. So because we are used to the spiritual world. We don't know. So this time element which is destroying everything in the world is foreign to us. It's strange for us. So it is time now. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Some meditation on time. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for nice class.
Thank you so much.
Prabhuji, Dandavat
Prabhuji.
Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Krishna Prabhuji. Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna
Dhanyavad.
Prabhuji. Dandavat
Dandavat
Pranam.
Pranam.
Krishna,
Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna
Dhanyavad.
Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Dandavat Pranam.